Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man at sXeblues, and it's going to be a brief little review for the DC Comics New 52, issue number 1 of Legion of Superheroes. This is a book that, from the get-go, it may say number 1, but there's some problems with that. Now, I'm somebody who's familiar with novel series. Look at Star Trek Vanguard, for example. There are many books in that series. One continues from the next. And if I were to pick up issue number 3, there's going to be references to things that happened in the first two. The way those are written, it's not that big of a deal. With this particular issue, there is continuity that's being referenced that I have no idea what it is. I'm starting fresh. I've always been interested in Legion, and but I have no knowledge of what came before. And the first few pages, I already feel like there's this continuity that I should be familiar with that's being referenced, and it's turning me off essentially in that mindset of picking it up from the comic book shelf for the very first time. There's references to possibly another comic book, Legion Lost, as well as what I'm assuming was like the previous storyline. And how can it be a number 1 if things have come before that are continuing into this? It's not that I don't understand the story. I reference Star Trek. This is very much akin to a Star Trek type story. There's an away team on a planet where it's supposed to be a planetary listening post, but they suspect more is going on, and they're there to investigate. A couple of new recruits as well. And that's understandable, but it's also muddled in that it keeps going back and forth between them and the rest of the Legion, I guess, mulling over and sulking about other Legionnaires that have been lost, characters that I have no vested interest in because I'm unfamiliar with them, and this really takes me out of the issue from the get-go. So. Which is an interesting thing, I have to say, because with the Bat books, I know there was continuity that came before, but I had a vague idea what that was, so that wasn't a problem for me there. With this one, it is problematic because, even though I've had the issue for a few days and it's kind of getting more familiar with me as I look over it, picking it up from the get-go, I was turned off immediately because I just didn't know what came before. But that's pretty much all I have to say on it. To stick with showing a page, I really like this 2-page spread, which basically is a roll call of everybody we'll be seeing in the issue and probably subsequent issues. But as far as ratings go, I'm not going to go so low as 2 out of 5 because that's, first impression what I would rate it. But it's actually, I'm going to go 3 out of 5 because the art is fantastic. And even though the story is muddled and that whole continuity issue, the story leaves you off with a sort of intriguing ending. So that's pretty much all I'm going to have to say on this particular issue, and I will catch you next time. Peace.